Yes, ma'am, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Madam, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, recording has been started.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Professor Priya Zadav from SIT Pune. So, today's webinar is mainly focused upon the career opportunities for robotics and automation. So, before starting to the webinar, I would just like to share you few issues by the letter my screen. So, as a part of Symbiosis International University, we are here in engineering field more than a decade, and I would like to give you a glimpse about the few features. Like these are the um, ranking
Ma'am,
of the college. Sorry, yes, sir.
I think there is some lag from your side, and you can make the PPT full screen.
Yes, sir. It is in full screen. It is not visible yet.
No.
Just let me share. Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you can start.
Thank you, sir. So, starting with this, we are part of Symbiosis International University, more than 12 years old of Engineering Institute. So, these are some rankings that we have written here. We are among the top emerging private colleges in India. We are second among the top private colleges in West Zone, and for India ranking, we are 11th among the top private engineering colleges. So this is by the India Today Survey 2021. So these are the main SIT features. Along with the core knowledge of the basic branches, we have also adopted some features that will be useful for the students for next industry, you can say the placements, or for their total development as a student. So as an internationalization, we have different faculty members from the various international universities that are visiting for a guest lecture, for conducting different workshops. Also we have internship, not only in India, internship abroad also, so that student can work there for 6 months and that credit will transfer for their you can say the results. Then we have multicultural and vibrant on campus life. We have different clubs. That clubs are not only technical, but we have different clubs like tech TED Talks and Varsity Care that will be take care of the social development of the student. We have different short term certification courses that will help student to add knowledge, basic knowledge. We have BTech degree courses with honors. We have strong industry connect. So every year, every semester, students are visiting to the different institute and get the practical glimpse of whatever they are learning through their curriculum. Then, along with a regular study, we have option for diploma in business management. Then we have focus skill development activities. We have holistic engineering curriculum in which the industry person who give addition to the syllabus, and every year the syllabus is get updated as per the industry requirement. We also have a conductive research environment, so not only faculty members but also student can contribute to the various research projects. So these are some additional specialization. Whenever student enroll for any of the course, they can also opt for the multidisciplinary specialization. Like for the computer science, student can opt for the specialization in mechanical, automobile design of heat exchanger, mechatronics, or industry 4.0. Similar way, the mechanical student can also opt for AI and machine learning, internets of thing, uh, game designing, or data science. So this will help to study different application of that technical subject. So from last 1 year, due to the pandemic situation, we are on the online mode. So we are not only conducting online, but we also workshops. We also conducted the placements drive, and we have a different guest lecture conducted for the students. So this is just brief about the SIT. On your screen, you can see the contact details for the robotics, and you can visit to the website wherein the BTech Robotics tab is there, where the different initiative by the robotics department is taken care of. So I will now hand over to Dr. Arun Kumar Bongale, who is the program in charge. Now he will solve your doubts regarding what are the career opportunities, how the robotics and automation can be good as a career option, and as well as it there are some prospects for MTech also. So he will also explain you how this can be beneficial. So actually it's not a core branch, but you will learn number of things together in this single course. So he has a vast experience. He has PhD in mechanical and more than 20 years of experience. He is working in the educational field. So he is not only uh, good in the terms of teaching learning, but he also has a strong industry connect, which is beneficial for the students for research project and as well as the presentation, as well as the placements. So with this, I will stop my sharing and I will hand over the session to Arun sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you please confirm whether my voice is audible or not?
Yes sir, it is audible.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, students and parents, for this introductory webinar on the robotics and automation in BTech in robotics and automation. So today we'll be discussing about the BTech course. That is, what is this BTech course in robotics and automation? Then what are the features, what are the subjects that are involved in that, and why we are calling it as an industry oriented course, and also why we are calling it as a multidisciplinary course. Before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Arun Kumar Bongale. I'm there in SIT from long time, and I'm looking into the establishment of BTech and MTech courses related to robotics and automation. Without wasting much time, I'll share my screen, and we can have a discussion on the prospects of robotics and automation. Just give me a moment. So, Priya madam, can you please confirm whether the screen is visible?
Yes sir, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. So let's begin. So, as I told, today's webinar is for discussion on the program features and career opportunities for the BTech program in robotics and automation. So I'll stop my video so that there won't be any lag. Okay. Okay, so today I intend to discuss these topics before going into the robotics and automation part. So let me discuss what is engineering and what are the disciplines or different branches of engineering. Then what is the current industrial scenario? Then what is robotics automation industry 4.0? And I'll also discuss, so what is robotics and automation from the viewpoint of SIT, that is our institution. Then I'll be discussing program features, scope and opportunities for this branch. Then So if you select this branch, what are the skill sets that you will be going to acquire? Then also the research opportunities in this branch. So these are the points that I'll be discussing and explaining. And after the discussion, so if there is any doubt or any clarification to be done, so you are free to put your questions in the chat box, and we will take up those questions at the end of this webinar. So now everybody knows, right? So if you are an aspirant of engineering, so you might have done your homework. Either your brother or some relative, they might have taken up some engineering courses, right? And the list of the courses, so of course there are very few I am listed over here, but most of these courses are very familiar, right? Particularly mechanical engineering, civil, computer science, right? ENTC, robotics. There are n number of engineering disciplines. Different institutions all over India, they also offer different type of engineering courses. So now, if you take up any engineering course at the end of your BTech career, BTech course, right? So you will either take up a job as your career option, or you can start your own company, you can start your own startup, and you can become an entrepreneur. Okay, if I select that, if I assume that you are going to take up a job, right, a well-paid job as your career opportunity, then what are the roles and responsibilities of these engineers belonging to different disciplines, right? So I have just listed them. So it is available in the indeed.com. Anybody can go there and search, right? So these information is available in the internet. I have taken it from the internet itself. So if you take up aeronautical or aerospace engineering, so usually the job roles or the responsibility would be to design aircraft, spacecraft, missiles, satellites, and other defense material. Similarly, if you take up mechanical engineering, so that would be you will end up in a job where your responsibility would be which are related to design of mechanical devices and systems such as tools, machinery, thermal products, sensors, detectors, right? So many, the list will go on. Similarly, if you take up computer engineering as your BTech option, then you have to, of course, deal with hardware and software of the computers, right? And related part, and coding, programming, development of apps, right? So application of AI, ML in different areas, right? So these are the job roles, right? Very broadly, I'm telling you, job roles that you will be involved in, right? Likewise, every engineering branch, every engineering discipline will have its own roles and responsibilities defined at the end of your career, or when you take up a job after your BTech course. Now, so this is of course true. This information is available, and pretty much everyone is aware of. Sorry, everyone is aware of these information. Now, before proceeding further, I would like to introduce to you about one concept, right, which is very much trending now. So, which is called as Industry 4.0 or Fourth Industrial Revolution. So, what is this Fourth Industrial Revolution, and how it is relevant for this particular discussion while we are discussing about robotics and automation? I'll come to that point. So before that, it is very important that everyone should understand the revolution, how actually the technology is changing, right? How actually we are utilizing the technology in the industries. Okay. So first of all, we all know that first industrial revolution, right? So it began, or it took place, right? You can say in 1780s. And what was that actually? So it was the mass production, you can say. The reason for this particular revolution or the change or shift in technologies, the availability of mechanisms, availability of machineries, right? So this was the one reason behind which the complete scenario of manufacturing or mass production came into picture. Similarly, the availability of electronics devices, right? Availability of electronics devices, they are said to be responsible for the second industrial revolution, where the industries were upgraded, the machineries were upgraded with the electronic components, use of electronic devices within the machinery. Similarly, third industrial revolution, so it is said to be it is assumed that the driving force behind these third industrial revolution, which of course took place in 1950, 1960s. So along with mechanical and electronics, the IT and automation, the software part, the computer part, that has that has impact on the the manufacturing industries. So of course, first, second, third industrial revolutions, if you just observe, right, if you just observe the streams or engineering disciplines which are related to this. So first industrial revolution, of course, you need to have mechanical knowledge. Second industrial revolution, you need to have electronics and knowledge of mechanical assemblies, right, mechanical parts. Third, if you need to have IT, automation, right, software, hardware, along with electronics, along with mechanical. Now, until this particular part, until this particular era, what you can say, right, so everything is defined. So IT is different, computer is different, electronics are different, mechanical are different. But now what is happening? Now we say that it is the era of fourth industrial revolution. Now there is nothing as separate a task. Everything goes together. So everything is embedded in each other. If you are a mechanical engineer, of course, you need to know IT, you need to know computer, you need to know IoT, right? So similarly, if you are an CS engineer, right? If you are the discipline is CS, then also you need to know some parts, some aspects of related to mechanical and other fields. The essence of saying this is, so now there is no particular or clear-cut distinction between different disciplines of engineering. Everything is embedded. Everything goes together. Now, what we call this? We call this as Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution. So they have defined different technologies or some technologies which are related to Industry 4.0. What are these? So you have cybersecurity, you have cognitive computing, you have robotics, 3D printing, machine-to-machine communications, mobile technologies, right? So Internet of Things. So these technologies, they are termed as the pillars of Industry 4.0. Okay. So now frequently I am using the word industry, right? So don't get confused. Industry 4.0, it is not related to only manufacturing industries. It is a concept. Industry 4.0 is a concept and it affects all these areas. Industry 4.0 is applicable to medicine and healthcare, outer space application, military and defense applications, intelligent home application, home automation, and also industry and manufacturing, agriculture, and also the factory, office automation, right? So every sector, right? So every sector which are assumed, which are said to be the job providing platforms, right? So they are all affected. They are all being gradually moving towards Industry 4.0. Means, what is the meaning of that? In every sector, there is application of technology, there is application of mobile, use of mobile, right? So use of internet, use of automation, right? So means the saying is Industry 4.0, it doesn't only cover the industries. Industry 4.0 is a concept which affects the complete society, complete our human life, right? How we spend our life, how we live our life, right? The quality of the life, everything is affected by Industry 4.0. And our course, what I am talking about, robotics and automation, it is purely related to Industry 4.0. Okay, so it has the blend of different disciplines. So instead of spending your complete 4 years in learning one particular stream of engineering, you will be learning the concept from the point of view of Industry 4.0, where it includes, you will be learning the subjects from computer science, subjects from electronics, few subjects on mechanical, right? So IoT, right? Industrial IoT, all the subjects which are required for you to make you equipped with the today's requirement, industry requirement. Industry means manufacturing as well as IT sector I'm talking about. So it will equip you with all the required technologies. It will make you knowledgeable about of all the technologies related to Industry 4.0. Now, that is about the robotics and automation and how this particular robotics and automation is related to Industry 4.0. Now, coming to the program is BTech in Robotics and Automation. So we have at SIT, if you talk this program at SIT, we have quite a few unique features related to this program. I'll briefly discuss with you what are those features. Okay, so now So if you join BTech in robotics and automation, so what are the features, what are the advantages that you will have? First of all, nowadays without exposure to industry, either it may be software industry or any other industries, so your BTech degree is not said to be complete. So what we have done, we have inculcated the complete industry oriented curriculum into the program structure itself. Means, so you will have different guest lectures, you will have guest lectures from industry experts, right? You will have some subjects which are taken up by the industry expert. There will be co-teaching by industry expert related to some subjects. There will be some projects which are sponsored by industry experts that you will be carrying out throughout your 4 years of your BTech program, right? That is one unique feature which will make the course an industry oriented program, so that at the end of your 4 years, at the end of your BTech program, you will be well equipped with all the required knowledge and also the industry exposure, so that you need not to spend any more time in taking up certification or taking up extra courses, right, to be more employable. So that is one advantage of SIT. Similarly, we have dedicated 6 months internship for every student. Okay, so at the end of your 4 year program, you can say after 3.5 years, after 7th semester, 8th semester is completely internship, where there won't be any subjects, any classes. You need not to come to the college itself. You will be assigned to an industry. So we will assign you to an industry where you have to spend your complete 6 months as an employee, right? And there are chances that, so some industries may pay you internship uh, stipend also. That is also possible. Okay, so it will make you very much uh, uh, exposed or very much accompanied, right, with what industries and what actually industry do, and how actually you can connect your learned language with the industrial experiences. So that is the industry connect and internship. And so since we are an international university, so we have semester exchange programs wherein you will be given an opportunity to spend a particular duration of time, right? So at a foreign universities. So we have many collaborations, MOU with foreign universities, wherein the student exchange program, we offer it to our students, right? So you can spend a few from a duration of few weeks to complete one semester at a particular industry outside India. So that will give you an international exposure also. Okay, and of course we have many industry sponsored labs. So we have Tech Mahindra lab, right, Makers Lab, which is set up by Tech Mahindra for our students, and many other proposed labs which are there. So which are related to particularly robotics and automation company, right? So you can have hands-on experience, which will give you industry standard learning experience during your BTech program itself. Then we have come up with few innovative practices such as Tinker Lab, right? So what is Tinker Lab? So unlike any other institution, I would like to say, right? So we have a specialized Tinker Lab where you will be given the actual working models or working equipment itself, right? So what you have to do, you have to just open it, you have to see what's there inside, right? So then understand its working, then put it together, assemble it, and see how actually it works, right? So it is like just like a opening a fridge, right, and seeing what is there in the fridge, how actually all the mechanisms work, then putting together fridge, right? So you'll be given a small robot, right? So just open the robot, see different kinematics link, different sensors, how actually they are put together, right? So this is how you can go with the experiential learning through Tinker Lab. So of course we have creative thinking. So this is the need of the hour, right? So creative thinking, design thinking, and entrepreneurship related courses are also being included in the course structure of the program. Then you will have ample opportunities to participate in competitions. So we have tie up, or you can say we are a member of All India Council for Robotics and Automation, ICRA. They conduct different competitions, robotics related competitions that you can if you are interested, you can participate, and you can be a member of that ICRA, or you can be a member of IEEE Robotics and Automation Society, right? So a lot of activities, right? So that will be going on. You can have you can develop that particular networking with other institutions. Lot of opportunities you will get through these memberships. Then, of course, as Priya Madam said, we have lots of student clubs and student chapters. And being a research uh, institute, right? So research promoting institute. So our BTech students, they are supposed to involve in the research and development activities. So many of our faculty members, they have collaboration, they have in touch with industries where they solve the industry related problem. So during the consultancy or research related work, our students also get involved, and uh, they'll also get the exposure of learning as well as industrial exposure. So these are the few uniqueness of the program which you can find only at the SIP. Then, as I was telling, the courses. So these are the courses which are there in the co-program structure. I have just listed a few. Why I have listed? To just to make you understand. Uh, just to make you understand. So what are the interdisciplinary courses, interdisciplinary subject, so that you can study which belong to computer science, which belong to electronics, also few subjects from the mechanical engineering. Okay, so just listed these details are available in the websites. Again, you can check out that. Then skill sets. So what is a skill set, and why I have included this in the presentation? So you might have seen or you might have heard, right? So people saying that nowadays engineers don't get jobs. Okay, so it is according to me, it is 100% false. So as per my experience, when I interact with industry people, when I visit over there, right? So there is scarcity of the employees, scarcity of the workforce. Why is that? So we have engineers, but they don't have skills, right? So you need to develop skill sets related to your domain of engineering. Okay, so what are those skill sets? And if you take up BTech in robotics and automation, what are the skill set that we intend to develop? We intend to make you skilled in that, right? So I have listed a few. So first of all, very trending in robotic field, robotic operating system, ROS, right? So you will be at the end of 4 years, you will be very much well versed with the ROS. Now ROS is like the trending skill set. If you have the knowledge of ROS, right, so you will get multiple job opportunities, right? So that is how the ROS or robotic operating system is trending now. So it is one of the most demanding skill set that is required for the industry as well as R&D sectors. Okay. Then you will be learning about AML, what is artificial intelligence and machine learning. In addition to that, you will also be learning how to apply them. So what are the uses of artificial intelligence and machine learning, particularly in robotic and automation domains? Okay, and what are they? How actually that work? Why? How to apply that? Right. So all the things and related subjects you will be learning in the engineering degree. Then, of course, you will be learning about coding and programming skills. Then you will be learning about all the technologies related to Industry 4.0 that I displayed during my previous slide. Then, of course, 3D printing again and related subjects. So these are the 5 important skill sets, so which are very much in demand now, which can give you ample job opportunities, right? So those all the 5 you will be learning, you will be well versed once you complete your BTech robotics and automation. Okay, so this is what the objective of the robotics and automation program, you can say, right? What after 4 years? So this is what happens after 4 years. Now, as I said, there are ample research opportunities for students. So Symbiosis University in engineering, so it provides BTech, MTech and PhD programs. Okay, so we have more than 250 PhD scholars who are taken research as their career at Symbiosis. There are full-time opportunities and part-time opportunities. So now to cater to their needs, so we have different research centers. So we have dedicated research center for applied artificial intelligence. We have dedicated research center for nanoscience and nanotechnology. waste resource management, then medical image analysis. So what these research centers do? They take up the projects from industry. In other words, industry people, they approach these research center to solve their problem, to solve their industrial problem. Okay, so those projects are already available with the research centers. So being a symbiosis student, you are always entitled to go there, get collaborated if you're interested, of course, in these research centers, explore what is happening, right? Get the knowledge of R&D, get the knowledge of industrial exposure, right? So, and all these research centers are in the campus itself, same campus itself. So they are open to all. You can approach that research center, get the knowledge. If you feel interested, get collaborated, share your ideas, right? And ultimately grow yourself. This is how the things work. Then career opportunities. So where actually you can fit yourself after BTech program. So this is just a few things I have highlighted. So you can choose your career in healthcare sector, agriculture, food industry, manufacturing, or defense. Then you can also choose a career in the organizations which are in the business of robotics and automation and in embedded system. Similarly, you can get career opportunities from the industries or organization who are dealing with AI application, artificial intelligence application. Then, of course, you can go with the software technology platforms, cloud, big data, IoT, data analytics, right? So these are all software related. Then you can choose your career as in a research organization. Okay, so different prospects are there, means different openings are there, right? So you will be learning all the skill set required to choose your career in one of these organizations. Okay, to be specific, so what are the job roles or top careers in robotics? Again, it is available in website. You can just check over there. You can be a design engineer, software engineer, hardware engineer, UX engineer, UX designer, user experience designer, or you can be a data scientist, machine learning engineer, algorithm engineer, right? So these are the job roles or job titles that you can expect after your BTech in robotics and automation. Now, very important slide, I would say. So now many questions are there. I had shared one Google Sheet for your queries. So many people asked me, what are the career, where can I take up the career? To answer that, I have this particular slide. So if you have BTech in robotics and automation, you can either go for software industries, you can get a job in the software field, or you can go to manufacturing industries, or you can go to food and uh, packaging industries, robotics industries, R&D institutions, or you can have your own startup, have your own company, right? So you can be an entrepreneur. There are ample of opportunities. Okay, that's why I say that this particular branch, this particular course is multidisciplinary in nature, right? So if one demand for one particular sector is down after 4 years, right? So you have other options. So that is usually not possible with the core branches. That advantage you will have if you choose an interdisciplinary subject or interdisciplinary course. Then a few more information, as I told. So SIT is a member of All India Council for Robotics and Automation. The advantage is our students will have opportunity to participate in conferences, symposia organized by ICRA. You will get placement support from ICRA. Okay, ICRA is a national and international level body, you can say, right? They have contacts or members from national as well as international companies. So they also provide placement support. You can utilize that. So you can have opportunity to get networking with ICRA members, right? So there are so many certification programs on robotics and automation, AIML conducted by ICRA. You can attend them, right? And finally, you can have opportunity to participate in international and national robotics competition that is conducted by ICRA. So such many opportunities are there. So all of them I cannot highlight. So all of them are available in the website. You can just go through that. Then we have industry collaboration with many industries. With many industries, we have MOU, and a few industries are we are associated with teaching learning process and other aspects of the collaboration. So few I have listed over here: Tech Mahindra, KPIT, Glass Academy, Netcracker, Minda Corporation, and Philips. Philips I did not mention over here. So these industries we have already MOU, and few MOUs are in process. For example, iTech Robotics or B&R Automation, right? So we are particularly for robotics and automation, we are trying to get connected. Means already the process is almost complete. So only a few formalities are remaining, right? So once we do that, so we will be connected with B&R Automation, we will be connected with Siemens and Rockwell Automation, so which are dedicatedly for robotics and automation related branches. And we also conduct so many events related to robotics and automation. So every Saturday we conduct, every second and fourth Saturday we conduct a technical talk by an industry expert. So industry expert will deliver the technical talk, right? So if you have any queries, any student has any queries, they can directly get in connection with these experts and get their query solved. Then we also conduct so many workshops and programs for students, not only for engineering, for also for 11th and 12th students. So this is one such program that we conducted recently. And as I was mentioning about ROS, robotic operating system, recently we conducted one workshop on ROS from completely from the international experts. All the 4 experts were from the abroad, Germany or US, right? Ireland. So it was a huge success. So these are our potential recruiters. Then these are the list of recruiters, branch wise, you can say. Again, the details are available in the website. So I was mentioning about internationalization, that is connection with foreign universities. So these are the universities with whom we have MOUs or other type of collaborations, and where our students we have exchange programs, and our students also went there for master's degree. So apart from that, we have a very good hospital next to the institution itself. So that is also an advantage. All the health related aspects, healthcare facilities are available in the campus itself. So sports facilities there, the badminton, basketball court, swimming pool, okay, then cricket ground, football. So many symbiosis. Also, not only academics, it also promotes the sports and health. So all the facilities which are required to grow to for the holistic development of a student, we provide in a same campus. So kabaddi, right? So this is it. This is what I wanted to tell. Now, can I request Ravi sir to share few details about admission process, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Sir, please let me know when to forward the slide. I'll do that.
Okay. So just click once. Yeah. Okay. So a very good evening to all the participants of this webinar, and welcome to the most advanced program being offered over here, robotics and automation. Well, I'm going to brief about the admission process, and I will also take questions related to the online admission process. So just to brief the process, it begins with the first step of registrations, which all of you have done. After that, the SIT EEE entrance examination was conducted. Also, you have attempted and scored very well in that entrance exam. This was followed by the documents uploading process, and these documents which were uploaded were verified by our verification experts. Okay. And after that, the merit listing process, listed number 5 over here, which means that the candidates received offer letters of various branches based on their scores. Okay, and so this process of sending offer letters to candidates is known as merit listing. And this is followed by the fees payment, which is happening right now. And later on, some candidates will be waitlisted or may also apply for branch change. I'll go over those details shortly. Yeah, so we can go to the next slide, sir. Yeah, So on this slide, I would like to explain how this merit listing process works. What is the logic behind it? Basically, all of you have received your SIT scores, right, on your scorecards, and all of you have your own individual branch preferences, in which you have, your own preference 1, preference 2, preference 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 branches you have listed out in your registration forms. So based on the SIT scores of the candidates and based on their preferences and based on the availability of the branches, I mean the intakes of the branches, number of seats, the candidate whose scores are higher for a particular branch, preferring a particular branch, are ranked higher, and the candidates whose SIT scores are lower are ranked lower. Okay, that's a simple logic. Let's say any two candidates have the same SIT score, then what happens? Their mathematics scores of SIT okay. So whatever scores they have obtained in maths in SIT those scores are compared. And if there is a clash between two candidates, then their physics scores are compared by the software. And in case they're also, those two scores are equal, then their 10th aggregate scores are compared. And the student having the higher aggregate will be ranked higher. So there's the logic built into our software based on which for each branch, including robotics and automation, the merit list and scores are, merit lists are prepared, and the candidates who make up, who make it to the, as depending on the number of seats available in this branch, which is 60, the offer letters are sent to the candidates. Okay, offer letter emails have been sent to the candidates. What happens next? So next slide. Yeah, once again, yeah. So what do we get? What do we receive in the offer letter email? Well, the offer letter emails contains a link to download the offer letter. When we click on that link, we are directed to admission login webpage, wherein we can enter our login credentials, login ID and password, and then we enter the student dashboard or the candidate dashboard. And if you scroll down, then at the bottom, there is a blue colored button on which it is written print offer letter, something like that. And you can click on that and the PDF of the offer letter gets downloaded. Okay. Now I'll just show the offer letter also because some of you might want to see where is the payment link, right? So can I share my screen? And we'll come back to this. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. I'll stop sharing.
Okay. So is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir. Okay. So this is a typical provisional admission letter that you all have received. Okay. And what this mentions is the name of program which is offered to you. And it also mentions the first installment of fees, which is to be paid 1,50,000 rupees, to be paid on or before 20th July. Okay, tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. midnight. And here is the first place where the link for online payment is given over here. Okay, so here it is. If you scroll down, it also talks about when does the new academic session starts on September 15th. It all okay. And after this date, if you scroll down, then the next page starts with the annexure 1, which is the finance guidelines. So here you will see all the fees related details. Okay. So this is the amount which the candidates pay as the first installment of the fees to confirm their branch which is offered to them, and these are the subsequent installments, number 2 and number 3. Here also, once again, it says for completion of formalities related to admission and payment of fees, please log into this link. If you click on this link, you'll be taken to our university's finance portal, wherein you can log in and complete the formalities of payment by making online payment. So online payment can be done through net banking, debit card, credit card, all these things you can do. So there are a lot of details over here. You can go over all these details, all these payment instructions. These are standard instructions. Okay. There is also a link by which you can go to the refund rules. Okay, I will also explain these rules in a while. Okay, and the second annexure talks about the documents which are required. Okay, so all these things you can go through. Please read this entire offer letter carefully. Okay, you'll get all the details necessary. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. Yes, sir. Arun sir, over to you. You can start sharing once again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So that was the offer letter, and I have explained the payment formalities, Annexure 1 finance guidelines, and eligibility documents as well. Okay, so now we can go to the next slide, sir. Yeah. So this is the same fee structure. I took a snapshot from the offer letter itself. It's the same thing. Next slide, sir. Yeah. So now a lot of questions are asked regarding the refund of fees. We have a very transparent policy of Symbiosis International University's refund policy, which is in the form of a PDF. It is uploaded on the website. It is open to anybody. You can also read it, download it. Okay. Now I have just taken 2 snapshots of this important document, part 5. It says it gives how much the fees is refunded. What are the rules? So 100% refund. The first row I'm reading. Okay, 100% refund will be received if the candidate applies for cancellation 15 days or more before the last date of admission. This is what is the rule of the university. Now, what is the last date of admission? Well, look down. The point number 6 defines that the last date of admission means 1 day before the date of commencement. And the commencement date mentioned on your offer letter, which I showed just now, and I'm writing, it's written over here as well, is September 15th of this year. That means if the commencement date is September 15th, then the last date of admission will be September 14th. 15 days before September 14th, that means up to 30th of August, you have time to get 100% refund. Ample time. Now, after that date, if somebody cancels, after 30th September till 14th of September, if somebody cancels, then the student will get 90% refund. After 14th of September, 15 days ahead, 80% refund. Up to 30 days ahead, 50% refund. And more than 30 days after 14th September, that means 14th October or something. After that, 0%. Okay. So this rule is uploaded on website. You can go over it at leisure. Okay. So once again, 100% refund by 30th of August. Okay. That's the important date you should keep in mind. Next slide, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's it, sir. Okay, thank you, Ravi, sir, for the insightful information. And so, if you have any clarifications needed, or if you want to contact me, I have given my contact details, and along with the institution contact details. So you can contact me personally or write to me on this email ID. So we'll try to solve all the queries, and all the information is available in the college website, sitpune.edu.in, and email is, it's not MTech, it is BTech admission. It is wrongly mentioned. Please make a correction. It's btechadmissions@sitpune.edu.in. I will post it again in the chat box. So I'll stop sharing.
Okay,
Yeah, madam, over to you.
So we got lot of queries through your query form, and also there are a lot of questions in the chat box. So I will request Dr. Satish Kumar to conduct the question answer session. He will answer your queries, and as well as if you have any specific queries, you can put up. Over to you, sir.
yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi sir and Arun sir, for detailed presentations. It was very clear, most of the doubts. Few doubts are there in the chat box. I will be asking both of you and the faculties available here. So firstly, Naman is asking how many seats are there. So it's only 60 for robotics and automation. Right. So can I, which is better, robotics or computer science? Or can I do a specialization in AI/ML with robotics and automation? Arun sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, the course structure is such that it includes the subjects from CSIT, then electronics and communication, then mechanical, right? And of course, when we are including CSIT subjects, since from the beginning I'm telling that you will be learning the application of those in the robotics. Of course, you will learn AI/ML and related application. You need not to have any additional specialization for AI/ML. It is already integrated in the course.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I hope, yes, sir.
Adding to it, you can do as the course structure itself is a multidisciplinary. Many things are been there in the course structure. If you still want to go for the majors or minors, you are free to choose any major or minor of different disciplines from CS, mechanical as well as electronics. As it is a multidisciplinary branch, you will be allowed for all the specializations majorly. Yeah. So Naman again he is asking, is this specific course preferred or MEC as a whole? So this is a separate course. Robotics and automation is a separate BTech course. So it's not related to any one branch. It's related to the multidisciplinary approach, which nowadays, as Arun sir was mentioning about Industry 4.0, in that perspective and government initiatives towards robotics, the course has been opened. And again,
Sir,
Naman
I
again,
would like
yeah,
to add one point over here. See,
yes,
Naman, and all of the participants. So there are some emerging areas that has been identified by Government of India and later on by All India Council for Technical Education. So we all engineering institutions, we are affiliated to All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE. And as per AICTE, the emerging areas, right? So there are 8 emerging areas, which includes robotics and automation, AI/ML, blockchain, AR/VR technology, right? So this course is one of the course related to emerging areas as identified by the AICTE. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you it is an interdisciplinary course. Okay, and it includes different specializations from different branches. And in the first slide, so as Priya madam was mentioning, so you are if you are more into embedded system, or if you are more into CS, right? If you are more into blockchain related technology, you can choose those specializations during your third semester onwards. That facility is also there. Okay, that provision is left to you. Based on your interest, you can choose those specialization as your career opportunity. Okay, sir, please, Satish sir.
yes, sir. And again, next question again by Naman sir. How can robotics person be a software engineer or a designer? So Naman,
Yeah,
you can
yes.
either be a software engineer or a designer, but if you want to be both, there are different fields. Like there is a emerging field of generative design, where mainly the artificial intelligence is being used in the design concept. So you can be a both at a time as well. You can add more to it, sir, Arun sir.
Yes, sir. See, you cannot be all the things at a time, right? The slide describes you what are the career opportunities or what are the job roles that you will be given. These are all just indicative, I am telling you. And to become a software engineer, if you want to choose your career in the software field, then accordingly you need to select the specialization subject. Okay, although there will be a few subjects which are related to computer science, and if you want to make your career in that uh, line only, then you have to choose specialization which are offered from CS department. Okay, different provisions are there, right? If you need more clarification, we can have a meeting later, right? You can come down to college, you can visit over here, you can visit the facilities, right? Then you can clarify your doubts. There is the option is open always. Okay.
Next question, sir. How many students from JN, sir? How many students get selected for foreign exchange program?
Ravi sir, can you please?
Yeah. So students, we have got tie-ups with American universities, European universities, Singapore, Australia, and even Japanese universities, and also one Chinese university. So how this happens is, you can spend an entire semester abroad at each of these, any of these partner universities. Okay, the offer call comes, and second year onwards, it is offered to all the students, and based on their GPA, okay, your scores, okay, you are shortlisted, and after that there is an interview process which is taken by that particular university, and after that process, and in collaboration with our international cell, the students are selected, and then they go abroad and spend an entire semester over at that international university. So it's a rigorous process. There are interviews and based on CGPA and everything. But depending on the universities and their intakes, a good number of students, like 5 to 10 students, they go abroad each year. Actually, even more can go. Depends on the interest of the students. Also, how many clear the interview rounds and the selection criteria of those universities.
Yeah. So the next question to Ravi sir again. If I want to wait for the other preferences, what should I do?
You want to wait for other preferences? Okay, so I'll explain waitlist and branching procedure. I think that was left out. So students,
Yeah.
what happens after tomorrow? So let's say I'm a candidate who got my first preference as robotics and automation. Then great, things are straight enough. I pay the fees through that online fees payment portal that I showed just now through the offer letter link. And the last date is tomorrow midnight, and that's it. I get my confirmed seat and branch. Now the second case is, let's say it's my preference number 2, let's say, and there is some other preference 1 branch which I desire. So what I can do is, because Symbiosis is a very good college, so I want to be a part of Symbiosis engineering fraternity. So I confirm the branch which is currently allotted to me or currently offered to me by paying the fees before tomorrow or by tomorrow. And after that, the branch change option will be available to me in the same portal. Same portal means the same place from where when you click on the link given in the email, you're taken to the admission portal, okay, admission login. There you log in, and from there at the bottom there is a blue button, print that print offer letter. That same place, that same portal, the branch change option will get activated, okay. And you click on that branch change blue button, and there you can enter 2 preferences. Up to 2 preferences you can enter, 2 branch preferences to which you would like to be considered for branch change in the next merit list. Okay. So now based on the cutoffs of those branches in the next merit list, if your score makes it to those cutoffs, then yes, your branch will be transferred or changed from the current to the next one. Okay, but it depends on availability. It depends on cutoffs. It depends on your scores as well. Third option is about waitlist. Let's say somebody says, okay, I would like to wait. I think that's what you meant. I would like to wait for that other branch, my preference 1, whatever it is. So what you can do in that case is you don't make the payment till tomorrow, and then this currently offered branch will be taken away, because then it will be offered to the next deserving candidate in the next merit list. So you are left without any seat in your hand, but you wait in the next merit list to be considered in the higher preference branch. So the candidates do not have to apply for waitlisting separately. They are automatically waitlisted in their higher preferences by the software. So we understand when you are not making the payment, that means you are not interested in the currently offered branch. So the software automatically waitlists such candidates in their higher preferences, in their higher branch preferences after this payment date. Okay. But the only difference between, and we don't give any preferential treatment to the branch change candidate because they have paid the fees or something. Many people ask this question. No, we just consider the scores, whether the student is waitlisted or applying through branch change. It's the same to us. Only the scores are considered in preparing the next merit list. Only difference is the branch change candidate already has a branch confirmed seat in Symbiosis, whereas the waitlisted candidate does not have yet. Okay. So have I answered this question?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. So the next question is like, what is the difference between the mechatronics and robotics automation? See, generally in the slides, Dr. Arun was explaining you all about the industrial revolutions. So majorly there is a difference between the revolutions. Now in the industrial fourth revolution, robotics and automation is one of the major player. where mechatronics was one of the major thing in the industrial third revolution. Both the things are automation, but in the fourth revolution, we are looking for a intelligent automation. You can say it as using different AI technologies and many other IoT technologies and making the system smarter and remotely accessible. So for that, in this course, you will be learning those things. Whereas in mechatronics, it was just purely a little bit about the automation, how to automate a machine. You can, yeah. So if you want to add, Arun sir or Ravi sir.
Sorry, sir. I was answering one question. Could you please repeat?
Yeah, if you want to add to the question, you can. Mechatronics and robotics.
A
Difference.
difference between mechatronics and robotics?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So mechatronics is more general aspect, and robotics is about robots, right? So mechatronics means you have sensors and actuators, and applied in automation basically. So you have mechanical systems, okay, which are connected to electronic hardware connected, and then you have control systems kind of architecture. But robotics is more related to robotic applications. So it's not that every mechatronic thing, device is a robot, not really. But robots are very specific applications of mechatronics, and they are widely used in industry. So there are different kinds of robots. Of course, I teach a course in robotics, so I can speak a lot about it. I don't want to start a lecture here, but let me tell you, robotics is far more advanced and takes it really to the place where industries are actually using robots, and actually the number of robots are increasing in Indian industries. So more than mechatronics, robotics engineers are the need of the hour. You should look at 4 years from now. Mechatronics, in my opinion, is still a little bit behind the times. What is the need of the hour is robotics engineers, isn't it? So Dr. Arun, when he showed the slide, he talked about Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 concepts like these, concepts like IoT, they go much far beyond simple mechatronics. Okay, so now we are talking about advanced robotics. We are talking about connected robotics. We are talking about industry of things, Internet of Things, and industrial Internet of Things, IIoT. And here, with cyber physical security, cyber physical space, and digital twin technologies, in such a scenario, mechatronics is just a small part of it. Mechatronics is a basic, I think mechatronics will be taught in the second or third semester itself in this robotics, isn't it, sir? It will be in that syllabus.
Yes, sir, yes.
So robotics goes far ahead. I mean, 4 years from now, when India will be needing a lot of robotics engineers, mechatronics will fall short, isn't it? Think for yourself. The answer is very clear.
So one more thing, what is the Arun sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Which one is better, AIML or robotics, or what is the difference between both the branches?
In robotics also you will be learning AML, and it is more, you can say, application oriented. So how do you apply the knowledge of AIML in robotics or in expert system, right? So actually speaking, you cannot distinguish that much. Okay, so at BTech level you will be learning AIML, you will be learning robotics, and you will be carrying out a project related to application of AIML in robotics, right? There won't be any much difference. But here, instead of learning all the algorithms related to robotic AIML, you will be learning more of an application kind of a thing. You will be learning more practical applications of AIML in robotics. That much difference I can say. Ravi sir,
Yes.
if you would like to add something.
Sorry, sir. Once again, I was answering in chat window.
It's okay, sir. It's okay.
So
Satish?
yes, sir. So as sir was mentioning, AIML is more about the things, but real-time implementation with respect to the robot and machineries can be learned. AIML you will be learning in robotics as well. So you will be real-time implementing it on the different machineries which are normally being used in the industries, you can say.
Okay, this is a question. What is the difference between AI/ML and CS specialization?
Yeah,
This was the
AML and robotics.
AI/ML and robotics. Okay. So students, AI/ML stands for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, these are very advanced analytical tools to identify classification and trends based on a lot of data. Okay, so these are database tools that are used to, integrated with, of course, electronics and actual physical systems to control and to predict and to, to have a very good user interface, okay, and more intelligent and smarter systems. Okay, so that's a very general kind of thing. I mean, AI/ML can be applied in robotics, in healthcare, like Dr. Arun sir showed, in agriculture, in weather forecasting, so many different areas. Okay, and when you combine AI/ML with robotics, only then it becomes smart. Okay, we have robotics, but they're not smart robots. So smart robots, how they can become? Because robotics, they generate a lot of data. They have a lot of sensors in them, right? Robots are built upon a lot of mechanical links elements and also a lot of sensors. So, and a lot of data can be stored and generated. And based on that data, the robots can be programmed. The robots can be, they're anyways programmed, but artificial intelligence means they can be made to make some decisions on their own. Okay, one thing is coding something to do something. Okay, we are coding a robot to do a task repeatedly. Okay, move up and down, just pick and place an object from one place to another. That is one place. But let's say the environment changes, there is an obstacle, something happens. Can the robot respond in real time on its own? Some basic intelligence, some basic decision making capability can you build in that robot? Okay, think like that. That will require, you have a lot of training data. Based on that data, there are algorithms which understand how that data works, and based on that, we can give some inputs. This is the way you can react in such kind of scenarios, and the robot can make some decisions on its own. To some degree, we can call it a smart robot. And similarly, there is smart manufacturing, a smart machine, or a smart home, things like that. So what AI/ML does is, it's a tool which is applicable in a lot of different areas. But when we combine AI/ML and robotics, it becomes really a great combination. The robot becomes smart. It can actually decide on its own for a lot of different decisions. Okay, not very high-level decisions as of now, you may say, but to a very good degree, a lot of decisions makings and understanding, the understanding customer behavior. We all use smartphones, we all use computers, and this technology is increasing, like chatbots, and we are writing emails and the suggestions come. So they understand, that it's all based on AI/ML, the data which comes in, based on those algorithms of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The machine learns over the data which is given to it, and then it can give input. It can give back feedback. It can understand what you mean when you write something or when you say something, and it can give you a response which is suited to the customer or to the end user or to the engineer who is managing the robots in the factory. Okay. For example, image recognition or voice recognition, and so many different applications. It can recognize the face, it can recognize the object, it can recognize between so many different parts, and quickly, very quickly, based on the processor speed, very fast, like a human brain, it can do it. So was that okay, sir? Please, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question related to payment. Many have done the payment, but they have not received the confirmation. So, in what type we are sending the confirmation to them? Can you explain?
Yeah, at least 2 working days. It will take at least 2 working days. It sometimes you get confirmation much faster as well. But there are interbank transfers. There was a Sunday yesterday, so sometimes it takes these timelines. So just 2 working days, and you'll get the auto-generated acknowledgement email from the system. Okay, don't worry.
So, sir, I think most of the questions have been covered. Majorly, see, like when we are going to open the hostel or sessions offline, it basically depends on the government regulations, which Maharashtra government regulations, which we receive. Based on that, you will be given a notification beforehand, 15 days or 10 days beforehand at least, to make the necessary arrangements.
And someone has asked that is hostel compulsory? Hostel is not compulsory. Okay, if it is left to your preference, you could choose hostel facility or not. If you choose only, then you have to pay the fees. Okay, so it is not mandatory to opt for hostel. So that is one question that I saw over here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, can I take some questions, sir? I mean, it will be faster
sir,
than
yes.
typing.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, you can just go through the questions, and if you feel something that you need to highlight, please answer them, sir. Ravi, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay, so somebody was asking registration through MSCET. MSCET based admission rounds have not started yet. Okay, then can I submit my caste certificate now? Well, if you are applying, if you're going for the second merit list, then and you qualify for SC/ST category, then yes. Does foreign university visit semester is defined? Yes, foreign university visits can be done second year onward. I mean, semester exchange program. I think that's what you mean. Second year onwards. Okay. We also have a diploma in business management. Okay, from the famous MBA institutes of Symbiosis, like Symbiosis Institute of Business Management. So many students, you know, what you get is BTech in robotics and automation, plus let's say minors in data science or machine learning. Plus, you can also get a diploma in business management, okay, from SIB. So it's a very great combination. Okay, now when can we apply for change in branch change? Yeah, Kanan, I explained this. After the fees payment is done, and after you receive the fees payment acknowledgement email, you know, 1 or 2 days after that, in your admission login, the same place from where you have downloaded your offer letter, that same place, that same login portal, that branch change option will be activated, and you can click on that branch change button, blue button, and then you can enter the 2 preferences that you wish to apply for branch change. Okay. Yeah, Amay, the same thing for you to also branch change. Okay, upgrade whatever you wanted to ask. Okay. 16 September, currently it is online mode. Okay. Will there be a physical meet? Yes, we all wish to meet you physically. You know, we are very excited to meet all of you and interact with you in person. So let's hope, you know, whenever it is possible, we'll be able to meet and we'll be able to discuss face to face. Okay, please tell me. Okay, job opportunity. Job opportunities have been covered by Dr. Arun. So a lot of job opportunities in robotics and automation. See, everything will get automated now, and an automation requires, you know, this kind of degree. NAD ID section, you just write to Jay, you can write to BTech documents, and our team will get back to you. Okay, just a minute.
NAD ID you can generate, sir, actually. You can Google it, NAD, and you can generate it online. Okay.
Okay, and Jay, I have just now written this and replied to your chat comment question. You can write to btechdocuments@sitpune.edu.in. We have a dedicated team. They'll help you out. Okay. Am I regarding see branch change? You can apply for branch change, but then for, you know, even if it tells you the cutoff for each mark, there are almost 30 to 40 candidates who got the same score. Let's say 90, there are 30 candidates. 89, there are another 30-45 candidates. So it really depends, you know, how much the cutoff will really come down, and, you know, will it really reach 72 or not? Can't say as of now, but you can apply for branch change after you process the payment. Okay. Okay, same question from Amay. Will this course be recognized abroad? Why not? SIT of 9. Next, when will the next merit list be released? Okay, the tentative date is 30th of July, but we'll let you know. Okay, it will be on the website. Keep watching our website. It will be announced. Okay. Is branch change preferred over waitlisted candidate if they have same scores? No, Aditya. Okay, we treat the same. The branch change and waitlisted candidates both are same to us. The merit list is generated as per the scores. Okay, we don't have any preferential, any preference or priority for branch change over waitlisted. Nothing like that. Okay, not to worry. In our offer letter, it says we have to come to the institute for the session. No, it will start online, and you can come whenever the physical sessions start. Okay, Sarah. But yes, you can come to visit us. Okay, there are parents visiting us right now also, but of course, come in smaller numbers. Okay, we have to take care of the social distancing norms, right? So please visit us. It's really beautiful now with all the rains and greenery. The campus is really beautiful. Last dates for uploading documents, 12th results. Yeah, yes, Manas. Whenever your documents are available, when the results are declared, 12th board, at that time you can upload. Okay, Manas. You have ample time, not to worry. Difference between AI and robotics, I explained. Which is better? Well, AI is a tool. Robotics is the application. Yeah, you make the choice. If I wish to attend GATE, will it be closest to? Yeah, this branch is close to mechanical, electronics, and CS, all three. You get the knowledge of all three in one program. Yeah, it's really powerful. A lot of scope. Do you need to know Python? Okay, Python we are going to teach you in the first semester. First semester itself. Yeah, programming and yeah, I think programming language or some subject is there in the first semester itself, where Python is taught. Okay, Snehan. So even if you don't know Python, not to worry. Python will be taught to all engineers, all branches, even civil engineers, mechanical engineers. Everyone is taught Python. Basic Python, yeah. Already answer is there. Admission through JEE mains is still going on. JEE mains related admission procedure, you can, find out the details on our website and also call us, contact us. We'll let you know. Yes, it is going on. And thanks for referring us to your friend, Adarsh. Okay. Residing outside of Pune, still we have to see. Hostel is not compulsory. Okay, but we have hostel options available for all first-year candidates. Okay, we have separate hostels for girls and boys. Okay, and very good facilities for all students, but it is not compulsory. Okay. And okay, where was I? Sir, I'm confused about civil engineering and robotics. Can you help me clear the dilemma? Okay, so by today's webinar, I think it should be very clear, Ali. So you know what robotics is all about, right? Okay. Still, if you want, we can explain it, not to worry. What is better, CS and robotics? If I ask me, of course, if I say robotics, you'll say I'm biased, but I think robotics is better. Okay. That package in robotics. Yeah, obviously, you have good package in robotics. Why are the placements? Okay. What are the in-campus facilities? Yeah. Okay, Heath. So we have in campus, we have, as I said, hostel facilities, then playgrounds. We have basketball court and volleyball courts, and we have very good multi-gym for the students, gymnasium, and then now there are other colleges also, like Symbiosis School of Culinary Arts with Sanjeev Kapoor, the chef Sanjeev Kapoor as visiting professor. We also have Symbiosis School of Biological Sciences. Next to us is that hospital picture you have seen. Okay, Symbiosis University Hospital and Research Center, and also Medical College for Women. If you go top on the hill, and you must have seen those photos, we have the football ground, cricket ground, swimming pool, squash courts, badminton courts. Okay. Very beautiful. Also a school of photography, and also MBA colleges, of course.
One question I would like to take. many students are asking about the course structure. There is a detailed course structure for every branch. Unlike robotics is a new branch, there is still some approval pending from the university. Soon it will be uploaded to the website within a week or two. Meanwhile, if you are having any decision, like you want to see the course structure and all, you can contact Dr. Arun, who has given his number, or you can take our website, fill up the talk to us counselor button, fill up the form, we will get back to you, and or you can email us, so we will share on the individual basis as it is done. So course structure, every branch has its own course structure. So no need to worry about the course structure. It's a interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary courses. So some approvals are pending.
Okay.
And
So,
yeah,
so Jay, you will receive your first installment acknowledgement. Okay, you will receive an auto-generated email, which will acknowledge the first installment received from you. Okay, Jay. Yes, Sohan. Yeah, robotics and automation is for you. Okay, it's not so much coding as in CS, but good enough, so that you can apply artificial intelligence and machine learning in robotics. Okay. Abhishek, hostel is going to start as soon as the pandemic situation improves. Okay, so as soon as we are able to receive some directives, I mean the situation improves, and we are given a green signal to start the hostel, we can start. Okay. Same thing goes for the offline session as well. Okay, just a minute.
Okay, Satish sir, I think all the questions have been answered. And if any other questions are there, we have shared one link in the website. You can just fill up the link and raise your queries. So we will contact you on personal basis. Sir, Satish sir.
yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, Arun sir and Ravi sir, Priya ma'am, and other faculties who were answering in the chat box also. It was really, I think, many doubts were cleared for the students, and we will see, like, especially if you are having more doubts, you can call us directly to the official number on the website is also given, or you can call Dr. Arun directly if you want to speak with him in person as well. Okay. So thank you, sir. I think we will end this session as many questions have been answered.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Satish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, friends. All the best. Welcome to robotics.